Hello, everyone. I am Jordan. I am here. We are solo today. It's solo day, J Day. And it's just going to be me. We got no producer today. I got to turn off the producer thing. It's just me. I'm all alone. We have no friends here to help. How's everyone doing? What's up, Paint Liquor? Rancid Vomit. Hello. Cosmic Cubicle. Hello. What is that gorilla soldier in the intro footage here? It's a model that Jason did a while back. It's over here somewhere. It's this guy. His name is Enzo. Thank you, Revy. Hi, Kara. How's it going? Let's see here. I gotta figure out what we're gonna paint today, chat. Because I don't know what I want to paint. We have some options. We're gonna go through. We have more of the Obi-Wan. We got some Stern Guard that we can work on. We have we could start working on her some more. Paint the snake up. What do you think? Panic Bomb Arcade, hello. Cosmic Cubicle, very cool. Is that something he made, or what the company is it that you know? You know, I don't know for sure. I would ask on the Discord. That happened before I got here. And I'm not super familiar with the specifics of that release. I believe it was a limited release. We don't sell it anymore. But I would ask on the Discord, Cosmic. What's up, T. Schmidt? Siobhan, hello. Snack Lady. Siobhan, it's going great. Kara, you vote for the Snake Lady? Alright. Sounds like we're doing Snake Lady then. I gotta get this model done before whatchamacallit anyways, so probably a good project to start working back on. So we're back on the Snake Lady. So I gotta figure out. I might start trying to lay in some highlights on the snake. Lion, I don't have any conquests ready to go. This stuff is all kind of like done to the point where I'm happy with it. I went back and worked on it a bit yesterday to kind of get it to a good place. And it's all just going to be tabletop stuff, so I don't want to spend too much time on it. So that stuff is kind of done for right now, and I don't have anything else ready to paint. And this model needs to get finished before the end of the month anyways, because I got to take it with me to whatchamacallit. My brain doesn't work. I gotta take it to Nova. That's the one. How is everybody doing today? I am feeling great. I am like 85% recovered from Gen Con, which feels great. Yesterday was pretty rough. Dealing with the whole sinus readjustment to dry weather thing is always kind of a pain in the butt. A couple of days of just like feeling like you're sick, which is lame. But I'm feeling pretty good today. I rested up a ton last night. I basically just sat and did nothing and like watched some TV, which was great. But yeah, we are going to work on a snake. So it's Snake Day here on stream. And so I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with the snake. And I was messing around with some ideas of doing like a black snake with like red trim on it. But I really like this green in contrast to the rest of the model. So I think I'm going to keep it like this, but I'm going to add a lot more color to it. So we're going to start by laying in where these highlights should go on the snake in some brighter colors. So we're going to take, do I have bright yellow green? I do. And we're going to add a little bit of faded green to it. We're going to use these two to lay in some highlights. But first, I got to put a sheet of palette paper down. Let's see here. Siobhan, you got to figure out what to make for your dog's dinner tonight. What are the options? Are we going like super fancy dog food or what? Hi, Jen. That's okay, Jen. You're fine. We survived in the before times. We'll make it work. It's always good to know that Jen is always watching. I've gotten so used to having so many people in here. It's so weird having basically none. It's very bizarre. I have not, Siobhan. I have not heard about the cuisine a la Siobhan dog. You must tell me about this. It's probably true. Your dog probably does eat better than me. You guys can kind of see on the palette what I'm working this up to here. I think I'm actually going to add a little bit more. Add a touch of, not golden brown, yellow ochre, I think. Yeah, the palette cam is really nice. The problem is it's a little zoomed in. So like, this is such a small portion of my palette. Like this is like maybe a quarter of my palette. So it's kind of tough, but maybe we can make that adjustment tomorrow, since we're gonna have some recording in here anyways. But yeah, so I like this color, but it's a little too pale, like coolish green. I want to add a little bit of this pale, or this yellow ochre to it to warm it up a little bit. And this, I think, will work great. So remember, we're doing this like super sketch style. So we are just trying to put in the areas where the light is going to reflect on the snake. So we're going to build that up. And it doesn't have to be super duper accurate. Well, this has to be accurate because we're going to build the reflections off of this. But since the focal point for light is here, like basically straight on with camera, I want to make sure that the light is heavy along these areas here. And that we get some nice light coming through on here. We should have a decent bit of light up here. And you can see I'm literally just putting color on right now just to see about refining these. We're going to hit this up here. Up where the snake along the side here. Might even make it a little bit more yellow. That's pretty yellow. I'd have to knock that back down a little bit. That's okay. Got that nice warmth to it. I'm just kind of following the snake has some like nice sculpted like bends in it, which will be nice to kind of follow for showing where all the light's going to reflect, which is nice. You can probably hit some on the back here. But we want this nice warm light come through. Loving the new paints, Mar. How's it going? People in Discord have seen what your dog eats, drinks. Siobhan, I'll have to take a look. Let me actually grab some Darkroom Flush, which is right here. Kind of using a similar highlight color to what I used on Snake Lady herself to kind of build this up. So we're broadening out these highlights a little bit more. And I'm going to glaze these back down, so don't worry about these looking kind of crazy. And a lot of this is just going to be me doing all these, like, painting each individual scale with a little highlight like this, which is going to be a nightmare. I'm not looking forward to that. It's going to be super rough. Then, like, glazing back everything. Yeah, it's going to be wild. What tomato? Hello. Kara, are you adding water to those to make a glaze? I think I noticed when I was trying to that out that they go hyperpigmented when they dry really naturally without the hard lines. Yeah, so I'm not doing a glaze because I want to add pretty opaque layers to establish what this highlight is supposed to look like. I'll be adding the glaze later to kind of blend these down and make them kind of less prominent. Because I still want her to be the focal point of the whole miniature. But these are going to be like really big specular highlights because the snake is rather large. So this is mostly right out of the pot sort of painting I'm doing. I might be thinning it down just a touch, but not a lot. So when I go back to doing the glaze, to kind of tone this down, I'm gonna take yellow green. And I'm also gonna do, before I do that, I'm gonna take the bright ivory. Sorry, you can't see this on the palette cam, but I'm gonna bring this over here. I'm gonna mix this with some of the dark warm flesh. I'm gonna try and pull out this specular highlight here. Alright. We're gonna let that dry for a minute. We're gonna come over here, we're gonna hit this specular highlight on this side. Remember, a specular highlight is just the point with which your light is reflecting off of a surface of an object and back into your eyeballs. This is why we're just doing this on points where you'd be able to see it here. And then we're going to do some darker reflective light back here. Because it's going to reflect in the shadows too. So I just got to figure out what exactly we want that color to look like. Probably going to be more of like a bluish color. Yeah, so I'm just kind of broadening this here. Trying to kind of smooth these out before I put this glaze on. Division. You know, I'm not convinced those wings are big enough to support that snake in flight. I agree. I'm kind of convinced that the snake has the ability to like get bigger and smaller. And it's normally a really huge snake and it's getting smaller as it kind of like goes up towards her face. So it's like in the midst of becoming less large is kind of like where my headcanon is at for this thing right now. Pull this down just a touch. So I'm going to do a little bit of this pale yellow, or not pale yellow, yellow ochre. And some more of this bright yellow green. And then we're going to use some more yellow green in there. And this is going to be one of our glazes here. And I'm going to throw a little bit of glaze and wash medium into it. And you can see how just adding that glaze on there really toned it down, right? So we're going to do a couple of these progressive glazes here to smooth these out. And that will allow us to give definition back to the individual scales, which will be nice. I want to do some cool highlights back here, actually. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go more with the faded green and the white. Maybe the bright green. We're going to do this more pale highlights back here. We're going to do this. We're going to kind of cut it in here. And this is going to look kind of crazy right now, so bear with me while we do this. So we're going to keep on going with this glaze. We're going to do it over the top here. All right, now we're going to take a step darker. Yeah, we're at the middle Pokemon Snake stage. Yes, we are. We're glazing with this darker color over it now. Hello, Omicron Samurai. Did you drop in today? I haven't seen you yet. It was a busy morning, so I might have missed it. You did not. Okay. Want to make sure I didn't miss you when you got here. Ah, I got it. Okay. All right. So you can see I'm just kind of like blending this in around here, just trying to let these colors come back. Now we're going to use some of this other color here, and I think we're going to use maybe dark emerald or maybe even a turquoise. Or do we want to go with the green oxide first? I kind of go with something bright, and then I want to bring it back down after. Maybe I use bright jade. Would be a nice color. Let's do green oxide. Let's do the green oxide. We're gonna glaze with this. It's not super dark. It's not super bright. I think it's like a happy medium. T-Cat, what's up? How's it going? We are having some fun painting some miniatures. I'm working on this model from Mindworks Miniatures called Sacrifice. A beautiful miniature. Very excited to be working on it again. I'm kind of sketching out a lot of these colors on the snake. So what we're gonna do is gonna add a bunch of water to this green oxide and a bunch of this glaze and wash medium. I'll scoot this over. I add a touch of this green to it. Yeah, there we go. That's good. It's cooler, but it still kind of has that feel of the green from the snake. And we're just gonna pull this up into here. I'm just trying to kind of blend these together a little bit so it feels a little bit more natural. As we kind of move away from the highlight areas into the shadow areas, I want to create this kind of like cooler blue-green color. We're going to sketch this all in. Might even use the bigger brush on this. This brush isn't quite cutting it. This is going to look kind of crazy right now, but as we pull everything down, darken it up, add a little bit more color to it, it'll make a lot more sense as we go. But getting this nice color variation on the snake is really, really nice. And then I can incorporate some of this cooler color into the shadow on the stone, kind of underneath here, right? And I can incorporate it into the model. Let's see here. Is there a correct ratio for a glaze to make it blend like that? Or do I just do it by feel? So you want your glaze to be really thin, right? So if I kind of show you this on my thumb, right? Like this is kind of what I'm working with here. So it's really thin. The glaze and wash medium helps because it gives it a little bit more body, which means you can kind of paint it on more, which is great. And which allows me a little bit more control over like where it goes, which is wonderful. I just have to be super careful that I don't like hit parts of her body, which would suck. But thank you. I'm really happy with how the color grading is working out for this. Kind of when you turn your brain off and you're like, I'm just going to think in color and I'm just going to put color on the model. And you kind of get stuff like this to come out of that a lot of the time. Did you get one of the bigger models while you were at the show? I know you've got a ton of paint. I don't know if you picked up a model to work on from us while we were there. But I'm kind of just adding this as it dries. I'm adding a little bit more layers of it to kind of blend it out, smooth it out a little bit more. Kind of knock down those highlights a touch more as well. I'm kind of going back and forth with that previous glaze and the one that I'm making now. So going from that warm to cool. And I can kind of just go back and forth. And as I go back and forth, it'll blend it more and it'll look more natural. And I'm kind of working even a little bit wet over wet here. Your husband bought 1,000,000 minis? Fair enough. You got paint, he got minis. Sounds like a fair trade. So yeah, I'm still working this here. Working it over those highlights again to try and knock them down just a touch. We want to work them up here too because this blend is a little rough around here. The great part is now that I have this snake sort of kind of roughed out, I can start incorporating some of the color from the snake onto her skin in glazes, which is great. So like I can add a little bit more green to the glazes underneath her thigh here or in the shadows, just to kind of merge the two models together almost. But it's still nice that she ends up being the focal point for the miniature, which is the goal, right? Beautiful. All right. We keep blending this out here. Bring over some of this warmth as it comes down here and here. And once I get done with this part, getting into doing all these scales is going to be a nightmare. Just doing the little edge highlights on everything. Putting in a little bit deeper shades. It was transactional to be sure. I'm beyond happy with it. That's good. Awesome. Whew. It is super hot here in Arizona. I am still readjusting to the heat. It's been kind of a wild year for me. So much travel with work on top of changing climates a bunch. It's doing not so nice things to my sinuses, making me very sad. So you can see as these glazes go on here, it's just toning it down and down and down a little bit more every time I work this color up. And you can see how this back part of the snake has all these cool highlights to it, where the front part of the snake, as we turn it right, you get all this warmth back from the sun. Thank you, T-Cat. It's a very straightforward workup. It's going to take a little bit before everything is past the, sketching stage of it, but I'm really liking how the colors are coming together. I was going to completely change the color of the snake to like black, but I thought it would be too much, and I really liked the play of the warmth of the green on the snake against like the red feathers. I really like that, so I wanted to keep it. So I did. And I think it worked out. Especially since I'm doing like a burgundy cloth down here. Yeah, it's definitely all about like playing with that warm and cool, right? Because they're both green. It's just greens with some blues versus greens with some yellows, and kind of playing back and forth between the two to create this like shadow contrast between them. And it's nice. You can kind of see a little bit on the palette how I have this kind of glaze work up over here for the warm half, and the cool half is on this side. So I can go back and forth adjusting as I need between the warm side and the cool side. And I can kind of use the shape of the brush to kind of hit these kind of folds almost. I gotta go back up here to the top and bring this warmth in here. I gotta do a little bit here too, because this is not super well blended in. Gosu, what's up, man? It's your first time watching on mobile. You pulling a Tim? Where is Tim? I haven't seen Tim in a couple of days. Since we've been back. Pulling a Tim. Yep. He's too busy making all this awesome barbecue food. Making me jealous. Making me hungry. How dare he? Whew. Hydration break. Hold on. Paint like you're living the tablet life over there. Nice. Whew. Having a blast putting some color on the snake finally. Get some of this. I'm trying to hit the inside of this top part of the snake with that cooler color, and then keep the warmer color on the top. Fancy new monitor for your PS5. Man, you are so fancy over there. Mixing up some more of this highlight color. Getting it all nice and smooth. Still kind of working in that super thin consistency, right? You went crazy on Prime Day? That's funny. I need new monitors for my computer. They're old, can't even be mounted, which is obnoxious. I think I've unironically had these monitors for like 15 years or something. It's kind of crazy how long I've had them. Maybe not 15 years, but like probably 10. 43-inch 4K 144 hertz monitor. Dang. 50% off with 15% cash back. Gozu, why aren't you telling me about these cool deals? What the heck? It's not fair. Come on. All right. So now we're going to start messing with trying to do some of these scales here. I'm not sure. I think pale yellow is going to be the right color for the highlights. So do we do something like this? Oh, cool. Let's see what it looks like. What's up, Mo? How's it going? Yeah, we're missing some faces today. They got a lot of important stuff to do. Jen's manning the front, making sure that everything gets all out and sorted for all your guys' fancy orders. Yeah, so maybe we do a little bit of this instead. Hold on. I'm trying to figure out the scale color here. I'm thinking maybe we do some warm yellow in these highlights, like warm yellow plus bright yellow green. And then mix in some of this pale yellow. Yeah, that looks kind of nice. Let me pull this down so you guys can see it. Working this color right here. Looking for something that's going to give us a nice shine while still staying in the vicinity of that color. So a lot of this is going to be getting the color on the scales that need to have the right color. Yellow. Thank you, Mo. Spent a ton of time working on the skin a couple of weeks back before Gen Con happened. That whole refining process took a while, to say the least. You can see I'm kind of following those like big highlights that we had, and I'm punching up those scales with the color that resembles the reflective color originally that we had. Just following that line as I go down, hitting edges of scales or hitting whole scales if it's going to be kind of right in the middle, right? And then it's going to just be bringing it up to be brighter by adding more pale yellow. So as we go up here, we're going to increase how much pale yellow is in here. Oh, nice. You got the other J. Jones model? Oh yeah, they're super easy to assemble. They're really clean. They don't require a ton of maintenance on the cleaning side of things. This one was a little bit different, I think, because there was a little bit of shrinkage on the snake when it was pulled out of the mold, or they pulled it out while it was still pretty warm and it flexed a little bit, so the shape of the tail didn't quite match up exactly, which is fine. That's pretty normal. It happens. Just means I had to go back and fill a bunch of gaps here. You can kind of still see some of that roughness down in here. Hopefully these lines, as I go through and do them, will get rid of a lot of that. I'm gonna do these really faint lines of bright here. As I go down, they're gonna get fainter and fainter. So they're not nearly as bright and bold like what these would be. And I mean, some of these are just gonna get pure pale yellow, right? So we're gonna go in here, like this guy right here. Gets the pure pale yellow treatment. The scale here is gonna be the same thing. And then what I'm probably going to end up doing is once I get a lot of these scales kind of sketched out, I'm going to come back and do some of the glazing that I just did. But I'm going to be doing more spot glazing over individual scales to get the gradients to be nice and smooth. So if I zoom out here, we can start to see how this is going to start to kind of come together. Bring in. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Jason.
Hi.
It's Jason. He's here for like 2 seconds.
Goodbye.
He came, he saw, and he went. He grabbed a thing. I don't know what he grabbed. He grabbed something. What a tease. Isn't that true? Man be teasing you. So you can see I'm kind of coming in here and adding some more of this color back into some of these scales. And this really is going to be the most time consuming part. I'm going to probably be working on these scales for like a week, probably, to get them all right. Week's worth of streams at least, not a whole like work week. That'd be kind of crazy. If I were working on this, it'd probably take a full day of doing scales, probably. well, 8 hours or so, 8 to 10 hours probably of scales on Sneck. Because there's definitely some like cool things that you can do, right? You can come back in with some of your blues, right? And you can do some brighter highlights on like these scales down here to make them pop out in that color, especially along this highlight area down here. Something that we're definitely going to do on this side too. Bring out some of these scales. There are many, many, many of them on this model. So I hope you guys like scales, because we gonna be painting them for a minute. You knew what you signed up for when you voted Snake Lady. That's true. That's true. I knew what I signed up for when I picked to paint this model, and I don't regret it. This model is fantastic, but it is going to take forever. So you can see how I use this this sketch of the color to help me build out what each individual scale gradient needs to look like. Apex, Thunder Chieftain, Thunder Riders, and soon Drumbeat. Yeah, seriously. I'm not going to paint scales for a minute after this, so we're going to get our scales out of the way now, and then we're not going to do it for a while. Nice. So I got a couple of different gradients here, one that's a little brighter and one that's a little darker. And as I move down away from the brighter points, I'm moving towards the more saturated color to use for the scale reflection instead of the bright pale yellow. So that way, as I go down, we leave this nice reflective point here of scales, and then we go down to this like nice warm highlight color. Let me get some of these like half scales that we've got some brightness to them that we need to paint on as well. It's nice to just be able to follow kind of one line of scales down as you go. It's interesting too because we have a lot of like variety in the sizes of these scales too. Like some of them are really, really big and some of them are pretty small. And this is not quite a glaze consistency that I'm using here. We're a step above that, so we're getting a little bit of opacity, but we're still getting like relatively nice, smooth brush strokes. All right. So Mo, have you started working on your piece that you picked up? The J. Jones model that you bought? Ooh, gotta stop my brain from getting all fried from looking at these silly snake scales. Walking harder. Hello. How do you do? What else are you finishing up on your desk right now, Mo? And is anybody doing anything fun for the August challenge? Posted up on Monday when I got back. It's our freehand challenge to those of you who have not seen it yet. Your space diner. That's cool. I'd be down to see that. Never really done freehand. You were thinking of doing the name of a ship? Feel like it's burnt into the side? Yeah, that'd be cool. Nothing wrong with that. We do go through them at the end of the month and pick which ones are our favorites. Which is always fun because we get to see some really cool stuff. Last month was a blast. We had our monster month for June. So we had some pretty incredible paint jobs in there. All the super creepy, nasty stuff that you all put in there. Alternatively, some cute and cuddly monsters. Definitely a little bit of both, for sure. No, you're trying to resist the call of BG3. Oh man, I have just not been super interested in video games since I got home. I don't know, it's kind of weird. It'll happen eventually, but right now I'm just not super feeling it. Excited to see everybody else's. The fairy and the little kimono lady look like they'll be fun. Nice. You know, Car, you can look at all of the old submissions too. All we keep all of the months and we just put them down in a folder below. Well, not a folder, but we keep the old channels. We just move them down below so you can see all the old stuff that got submitted, which is sweet. What do you mean walking harder? You can definitely do some freehand. I have faith in you walking harder. I dub thee an artist. Go forth and create freehand. I demand thee. Let's see here. Can we punch this a little bit with like some. There we go. Heavy, warm. Stick figures about it. Hey, look. I didn't say it had to be fancy. Stick figures are legit. I'm into it. Just do some stick figures. It's not that scary. Hold on. Okay, we're gonna do a little bit of tutorial on how to do freehand here real quick to give you guys, and make sure we share this with the class, everyone. Don't keep it to yourself. Let me find something. All right, so I got this guy. He's itching for some cool tattoos, which we're gonna do Deep Sea Ben, Dark Sea Ben. Excuse me. Good color for it. So let's see. Okay, so what do we want to do? Do we want to do like some cool? This is an actual model, Mo. This is an old school model. You can't get anymore. Tribal tattoo. Okay, so we'll do tribal tattoo. So we'll just start with some like vaguely random stuff. So if I want to do, let me grab a sheet of paper or something. Here we go. So the best way to do freehand is to start with very simple shapes, right? So let's say I want to do like a solid star, right? I would start by doing a line. Here, let me see if I can't get this the way you guys can see it. This way? There we go. I would start by doing, I guess, zoom in. A line. Right? Just do a line. This is super out of focus. Okay. And then I would do another line this way. And then I make the star solid by going in filling those little spaces. Like this. So you can simplify a lot of these things, right? So if I'm doing like a skull, right, I can do the same thing. So if I'm gonna do a skull, right, I can start with the eye sockets, which are going to be dark, right? And then I can slowly start to take the thinner color, and I can use the thinner color to start defining some of that other space around it. Normally, I would look at a piece of reference while I'm doing this. But I don't have a piece of reference while I'm doing this, so this is kind of tough. But you kind of just rough it out. And then if you need to go over it with different places, right? So if I need to go back over it with like white, so if I want to do like cut away into this shape, I can cut some of this detail away. To sharpen areas with the star, right? And you're going to do this with the skin tone that you've mixed up, or the background of whatever it is that you're working on. And then you just go over it in layers until you've got a nice, sharp, clean star. See? So you can do stuff like that. It's a lot of like back and forth. Polly Schlamazel, hello! Thank you for the raid. Let's see if I wanted to do like a cool little detail right inside. Do a little star within a star. I can cut out that inside now. And create that negative space on the inside. So now I've got a neat sort of design, right? Or for the Soul Drinkers guy, right? So these guys have a cool little, they have like a chalice with this sort of laurels on the outside, right? So what I would do for this is I would start with the chalice. I'd start with that same shape. So I would do a simple line, a wide line at the top, a less wide line at the bottom for the base. And then I'd mark where the chalice goes to. And then you bring each line down. And then you fill it in. Now you have a simple chalice shape, right? And then if we're doing the laurels, we kind of pick a spot here. So we want the laurel to start there and end here. We do it on both sides. And then we pick like a midpoint. So we want the laurel to go kind of out to here. And out to here. And then you just go line to line. Line to line. Line to line. Line to line. And then you just start putting all the leaves on it. Leaf, 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 leaf. Right. And then you do it on the outside. And I'm going quick, so I'm not doing this super fancy. But that sort of thing, right? And then you have the chalice with the laurel, right? But you can see how you're literally you're breaking it down into really, really, really simple steps. And then as you finish each step, you start going, okay, what's the next part? You found a witch. May we burn her. No, there's no witches here. Does this make sense, though? You just got to think about it and break it down and simplify the shapes. It's kind of like when we talk about highlighting non-metallic metal, right? You're simplifying the shape into its like core components. So if you're talking about like a shoulder, you have your round sort of shoulder muscle. You have a cylinder for the arm, and then a ball for the elbow, and then a smaller cylinder for the forearm, and then a ball or like a rectangle square for the hand, and then you have little lines for the fingers. Right? That's all you got to do is you just simplify everything, right? Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing, right, Kara? It's your hands, as long as your brain knows what to do, you can train your hands to follow. So knowing the steps and the simplification on how to do stuff is the hardest part. And then once you get past that, then you're just like, okay, well, now I just need to apply the knowledge that I have in practice. So, and you guys can do all of this with a pencil and paper on scratch paper. And you can try it a million times until you get comfortable doing your freehand like this. And then you're like, okay, cool. Now I feel comfortable. I'm going to do this on the model. And then it's just getting used to doing it with a paintbrush instead of a pencil. And you can even paint onto your piece of paper with your paintbrush. So you can do all of these things to prepare yourself for doing the freehand on whatever you're going to do beforehand. And then once you're ready to do all the freehand, then you just go and you do all the freehand on the model you want to do. Hi, Twitch Summerlin. How's it going? Good to see you back. Back to the snake lady we go. Good. I'm glad it made sense. That was the way that it was always taught to me. Alright. Working on getting all these edge highlights on these silly scales done. Yeesh. Walking harder, do not worry. It will be a YouTube video. We have plans of bringing all of that sort of stuff to YouTube. We're currently working on it. Unfortunately, it's been an absolutely insane month as far as releases and new content and, you know, shows and all that stuff. So it's been really difficult for us to record and get it all edited. We actually have a video that we're going to be recording tomorrow. Starting from kind of the get-go, we're going to be doing some, you know, how to prep models and that sort of thing. And then we're going to go from there. And I think you guys are really going to like it. It's going to be, you know, we're going to start with some simple stuff to start with. So that everybody's got a little bit of something to get out of it. Hi!
Hi.
Hello! Come on in. We have Jason plus some guests.
I told you yesterday. They asked if we would bring you on, so you're live. You're live. They can see you, right? So this is Tomas and Katrine from Germany, and they're watching live, and they can say hello. Say hello, everyone, and it'll take them about 15 seconds or so. But see, they say hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hi. These
Hello.
are people, real people, talking to you right now.
Okay,
Hi.
fine.
They say welcome. Velkommen it is. It's velkommen.
Welcome.
Guten Tag.
Hello.
Hello, friends from Germany. So these are our customers, and they're the people that use the brushes and the paints. And, you know, we generally are painting random things and creating fun. Jordan's painting an amazing model right now.
Yep.
Oh boy, it looks the scales
The
look
scales?
amazing.
Yeah, we did a lot of work on
You're killing it.
getting all the scales.
Look at that.
And the snake.
That's him painting live.
So we did all the shading on the back of the snake to get it all that nice blue. I'm working on the scales.
These are the wonderful people that have made our ability to make brushes come true. So they are here instructing us on how to bring the production in-house. So looking at some of the tools and telling us what we need to look forward to. So there you go. See, they say thank you. So now you're famous. Now you know. See, this is what's so important to us, is that our customers get to be involved in the process. It's a lot of fun.
I don't know if Jason has told you yet, but our customers are obsessed with the brushes.
Oh yeah.
They love them to death.
Yeah. I told them that they lasted all of about 4.5 hours this last time, and it's been crazy.
Yeah.
So
it's been great.
Literal heroes. Literal heroes. There you go. They're all excited that we might actually have brushes in stock someday. So because they go out of stock so fast. Yeah, so this is it. We do this Montag, Freitag.
Montag bis Freitag.
Oh.
Montag bis Freitag.
Monday. Good.
Good.
Perfect.
Ja, super.
Thanks so much.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Goodbye. Thank you for stopping by.
And see what he's. You can go put your hands on it. Touch it. This is a resin. This is the same like you were saying at the photos. It's made out of epoxy resin.
That's what I'm saying. Also artist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
It is its own fine art.
Yeah.
To get the shadows and
Yeah.
Exactly. It's what we tell everybody every day is that what we're doing is we're putting our own version of light onto this figure.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we have tons of light, you have to recreate it, and that's what makes it special, and that's what makes every piece unique. Because you could have the light from over here, from up here. So, fantastic.
And every single person who paints it different.
We'll paint it different. Choose different colors. Choose different way of having the reflections work.
Mm-hmm. Well, you and I paint very differently.
Yeah. I was telling them that we'll paint the same model in totally different ways. It's almost like you came from different worlds at the end of it. So.
Well, like the horse, right?
Yep.
That's even a great example.
Exactly. Well, thanks for letting us interrupt you.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Bye, guys.
All right, back to scales. We've had a break from scales, and now we got to go back. Pretty cool, huh? That was very nice of them to come by. Yeah, I think they predominantly just make, artist brushes, right? So they don't necessarily get to see exactly what we get to do with them in person. So it's probably very cool for them to be able to see all the things. Yeah, good that you're on your best behavior today. Thank you guys for being so nice and behaved, well behaved. Oh, hey, it's scale time. Yeah, it's we're deep in scale land from Scale Town. So many scales. I'm literally going to be painting scales for like a week. Hey, look, I'm proud of you. Way to not eat the paint. Tune in next week to see him still painting scales. Oh, the humanity. Yeah. It's gonna be scale week. But at least hopefully we'll have Jason on at some point this week so you guys can see something other than me painting every single little scale on this model. Would you say that this is scale modeling? It's more like scale painting. But it was an acceptable joke. Mo, we've had it in for a little bit now. These are the wonderful people who are gonna help us get everything to a situation where we can use it, and all of it we're making good quality, final product from it, right? That's the goal. So, I don't know about you, but I am very excited about this. Means I also get to have some cool brushes too. But I need to go back and put a line back in between some of these scales. When the brushes start churning out, Michael's gonna miss a ton of us. Yeah, I hope so. I'm gonna get you guys your brushes. Go back in. Get a nice little line in between some of these scales. Make them read real nice. We're getting there. Jade, how's it going? Yeah, you get to see more of the detail and shading you were talking about. Yeah, this is the model that I was showing you at Gen Con. Finally started painting up the snake. Finally getting to the snake. I'm very excited. I haven't done a big fancy model like this in a while. So it'll be nice. The last one I did was Morgan. Which is this one. And this I did back in, when did I do this, chat? It was back in April? Was this April that I did this? Or was it May? I can't remember which challenge we did the super limited palette, right? Because this is with like 4 colors, 5 colors, something like that. 1963. It kind of feels like it sometimes. Yeah, I think it was my first challenge. Yeah, I want to say it was April. Because May... it's for my grandma, Mo, but yes, I am going to paint it on stream. That one's going to be hard to figure out how I'm going to do it, because it's going to be, I mean, that model is gigantic. Right? Like, if this one stands this tall, I'm going to have to move it here. Like, it's literally like this tall. It's twice as tall, and it's like this wide. It's huge. Yeah, it's 5 colors. Dark blue, khaki, white blue, beige, red, and dark magenta. Jade, yeah, don't worry about it. I just have fun with it. Paint it the way you like it. You know, I've been painting for a long time. I've had a lot of practice and experience doing it. And my hope is that I can impart some amount of that knowledge onto you guys, so you guys can take what I've learned and grow with it, right? We got a Hungerford in chat. Hey Jordan, taking a moment during my lunch break to enjoy your face. Why, thank you, sir. I certainly miss your face. It's been a while. Congratulations on the new gig. It's got to be a nice or an interesting change of pace for you. Working on indie game projects now instead of actual miniature games. That's got to be wild. How's that adjustment going? You kind of settling in all right over there? Are they treating you okay? This matters to me. Super great. Awesome. To those of you who do not know, Hungerford is a wonderful game designer who I used to work with back at Privateer Press and Broken Anvil, and he's a wonderful, wonderful human being, a good friend, and has since landed at a wonderful new job. So it's very exciting. Unlike me, you don't have to paint 5 million scales, sir. I have to paint 5 million scales. 5 trillion scales? I don't know. A lot. Many, 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 many scales. Yeah. Slave Street, gonna be worth it. You are correct. It will be worth it. But it still will suck. You would never do that to yourself? Yeah, that's true. Hungerford, you are a smart person who makes good decisions. I, however, make somewhat less smart decisions. Embrace the suck. You are a Wad in need of a nap. Have a great day. See you later, Wad. Thanks for stopping by. It's always great to have you around. I hope your nap goes nicely. Penciling in all of these lines. I think a lot of this is just going to be like getting the edge highlights on stuff and kind of letting that do the bulk of the work. Because the edge highlights are really going to be one of the things that really sells the reflectiveness of the scales. Yeah, that looks great. It's doing the trick. Painting this crab has taught me one thing. I'm never going to paint nids. That's funny. Nids are fun, man. I really enjoyed painting that one that I painted, like a 2 or 3 weeks ago when Leviathan came out. That was a blast. I really enjoyed that. You've not been able to find anything for the August challenge yet? I mean, the cool thing is you can kind of just do whatever you want. I think there's like almost any model that you pick up can have a little bit of freehand on it. So I wouldn't worry so much about that. Just kind of think about what, like, pick up a cool model that you like and just be like, what sort of cool freehand stuff can I do on this, right? So just noticed a special email that I got. Are they out of the sets yet? I don't know. I haven't heard that we are out of the sets yet. See you later, Slater. See you later, Hungerford. Just saw this. Have a good lunch, sir. Or have a good not lunch, post lunch day. We're just going nice and subtle. You kind of move this highlight over here. Jason said they made more than enough, so they're probably out now. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been keeping track on the inventory. I've been busy doing a bunch of other stuff to prep for this week that I haven't been checking in on. I know we've sold a crap load of the new paints, which is amazing. So thank you everybody who's purchased some. I don't know. We might be out. It's very possible. I don't know. Jen would know though. So if Jen's still here, Jen would probably be able to tell us. Yeah, I don't know, Mo. I'm sure Jason will be able to tell us next time he's on stream. Or Jen, perhaps. I might have to find a place to put these new flavors on a model tomorrow. At least, as long as it's not going in your face, I'm on board. Oh, I did. What color did I do? For that, it was what? Oh, yeah. Green oxide is what color I used. Man, what an amazing color this is. Was just thinking, watching you do all the work between the scales. Wouldn't some oils, pin washing do real good right now? Yeah. There's definitely some applications where that would be really good. The tricky thing is, I'm trying to edge highlight the scales, Black Skull. So while yes, it would help define a lot of the recesses, the problem is I'm trying to actually edge highlight all the scales, which is why the like an oil wash or like a traditional wash wouldn't work as well, right? Um, it would be great. The other part of it too is that the detail is pretty shallow. It's not super. It's not super deep, right? So it's one of those situations where I'm trying to add bright highlights to the edge to get these like specular highlights for the scales, and I'm trying to add in the right value of color in the right places, right? So you can see we have this nice bright beautiful highlight over here, but as we go down it darkens out again, and it'll brighten up a little bit on this side just a touch, but then in the back it's going to be, you know, different colors and stuff. So shading isn't going to help me here because I'm trying to brighten things up, and then I might go back and glaze it back down a little bit, just to make sure that we have the right level of value contrast over the whole model. But generally speaking, what I'm doing right now is not trying to add dark highlights. Like I'm mostly working in these like really bright highlights you see up here, right? With this pale yellow, warm yellow, and a little bit of the green. Like this is the area where I'm working at the most over here. Great idea though. And yes, in a lot of cases that would be very helpful for doing what I'm doing. But because of the nature of how scales interact with light, I need that bright highlight on the edge of them, which I have to manually put on there. And because these scales are not so defined physically on the model, I have to actually manually go in and paint them all in instead of like dry brushing the edges, right? Because if I did that, it would add too much color in places where I don't want it. So now I'm trying to create this brighter highlight down here that I can use on these scales. You can kind of see this brighter color that I'm doing down here in the blue. This is going to be predominantly the color that we're going to see back in here as we bring up these highlights back here. More of this blue color. Same thing down here. And down here. Mixing up a brighter color over here for these underscales. Adding a little bit of this darker color in here to help separate out these two sets of highlights. This is for Nova. Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna submit this for the competition, but this is for Nova for us to have there to show people all the cool stuff that we do, etc. Because we are sponsoring the Capital Palette, so I wouldn't want to enter something in it. I mean, I probably could, but I don't know. I don't think I will. The price of beauty. So true. The price of beauty. Thank you for the follow, Android M1K3. Thank you so much. Welcome. Oh no, this isn't for the charity auction. Nope. That stuff, you have to have that stuff ready way ahead of time. It would be too late for us to try and do something for the charity auction last minute. Yeah, those people usually have their marching orders as far as projects are concerned, like almost 6 to 8 months ahead of time. I've done stuff for the charity auction before. Back when I was at Privateer, I painted up a cool Monster Apocalypse model. It was super fun. There we are. That's much more better. Much more betters. More subtle highlight. Not quite as strong. And then we can still get these nice yellow highlights. Boom. Oh, edge highlighting scales forever. And ever and ever and ever and ever. Shady lady. Still loving the skin shading. Yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out, to be honest. It all worked out really nicely. Still might go back through and do some final touches to it once the snake is all done. But I think we're in a pretty good spot as far as all of that is concerned. Yeah, that scales. The scales are really starting to come together. It's all just that little edge highlighting that really gets it all to come together, right? Well, it could be chaos trim on 50 models. I'm gonna be honest. I'd probably rather do chaos trim on 50 models than do this. Well, maybe not. I don't know. This is pretty easy. It's just time consuming. It's just time consuming. I hate painting scales, but could watch you do it for hours. Yeah, that's good to hear, Walking Harder. Thank you, Mo. Thank you. You guys have seen me work on her for a hot minute now. It's been a couple of weeks now. Granted, I only get a couple hours in a day, right? So I haven't done any post stream workage. So we're just, getting her done. And don't forget, if any of you guys have questions, feel free to pop them out. I am happy to answer stuff while I'm working on this. Because it's gonna be a minute for me. So I am happy to answer whatever questions y'all might have. And when he passed beyond the mortal coil, to his family he left no money, no land, no tickets. We finished the scales. Hey, I'm gonna finish these scales. It's the last thing I do, okay? This model's got to be ready for Nova. Because I don't want to be painting this model at Nova. This model is gonna be past the point of needing to be worked on by the time we get to Nova, so. All right. Well, I think we're at a pretty good stopping point for today, you guys. It's 2 o'clock. I got a bunch of stuff that I got to take care of before the end of the day. So we will come back to this tomorrow. Get a lot done in 2 hours. We totally roughed out all the scales on the snake to get the colors kind of where we wanted them to be. Got some really nice color on there now. And then we got a ton of the scales done over here. I'm feeling pretty accomplished about the day. So we're going to leave it there. We're going to find somebody to raid. So guys, make sure you stick around for the next stream that we dump you all into. A couple of things really quick. Let's put some things in the chat for you. First things first is going to be our store. So make sure that you all check out our store. All of the paints that we used on today's stream are made by us here at Monument Hobbies, the Pro Acryl paints. You can find them all on our store, as well as this model here, which is from Mindworks Games. These are all available on our store. If you want to find a local store near you, you want to type in, or we want to go to oh, I did it wrong too. You baited me, Mo. We want FLGS. FLGS is going to give you a link to our store locator. This is going to help you find a store near you. Maybe you're out of the country. You're going to be in Europe, UK, Canada, Australia, somewhere all around there. And you guys want to find something local to you, so you don't have to you don't have to pay for shipping from the United States, which is kind of crazy. So we have distributors in those areas and a lot of local stores all over the world. So check for a local store near you, and hopefully you can find something that makes it easier to purchase from us. The other thing as well, like many of you already know, we have a wonderful Discord full of fantastic artists. We have like 3,000 people on there now, and we do Discord challenges every month. We hang out, we talk paint, we talk hobby, we talk dogs and pets and food and stuff. We're a bunch of nerds. So come hang out with us. It's a great fun. Don't forget, everybody, we stream 5 days a week. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, like today, we stream from 12 to 2. And on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we stream from 2 to 5. So tomorrow is going to be a little bit later one. It's going to be our late afternoon stream. So it'll go a little bit longer for 3 hours. Don't forget, everybody, we are going to go raid somebody else. So stay tuned. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for hanging out. And we will see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Nights and stuff on Wednesdays. If you can hear me, seeing as that individual has not come back or said anything, if they post that link again, just ban them. On the spot, no warning, just ban them. Not risking it. Cannot be bothered to be dealing with that. Hey, Monument. Thank you. Little bit premature. Just a tiny bit premature. How you doing, guys? Can you hear me? You there? I'm going to assume you're through the Bezos blocker. Which means I'm going to ask my usual question. Is it Jason? Or is it Jason and Baby J? Or is it just Baby J? Who we got tonight? Good evening, guys. For those coming in with Monument, hello. If you've not been here before, my name's Aaron. UK-based mini painter. Currently painting an eye-bleedingly bright... No Jason today. Wait. So the worst part is, I can never be sure if it's just bait. Although you have been nice, so I'm going to go ahead and believe that it probably is Baby J. If it was Jason, it would open with something along the lines of either call me a nerd or something like that. So it's probably Baby J. Big boy fans doing business stuff. And see, now I'm second guessing. Welcome in, man. What were you up to? What were you working on? Were you demoing the new paints? What's up, nerd? No. Too late now. Too late. Forced. That would have been the natural opener. We've used the new paints today as well. The Sacrifice from Mindworks. Ooh, nice. I've got 2 Mindworks pieces here at the moment. Yeah, I've got 2. I haven't painted either yet. So badly want to paint them. But the schedule is just absolutely jam-packed. It's like, never mind. Don't run the new paints for months. Not really cheap. I mean, they do kind of make it. Seems fine. Painting scales for... Oh, yeah. Yeah. I've toyed with the idea of doing a kit bash between the Daughters of Cain and the Slaaneshi. Either some Space Marines or just AOS stuff. And then I was like, wait a minute, scales. Never mind. Damn good. Upon reflection, nah. But yeah, as I said, we've actually. Initially I was a little concerned. Obviously, I got the new paints in post today. Over here, I was like, ooh, new toys. And then I was like, I've already started the mini. I don't know where I'm going to be able to use them because I've kind of already established everything. Haha, plot twist. I hadn't painted the vials, so I busted out the deep sea blue, dark sea Ben, and the other one whose name I've forgotten because they're new. What's it? Is it still on my desk? Oh, it's on my desk. It was the Deep Sea Ben Dark Emerald, and then the Green Oxide. Turns out it's really nice for vials. Yeah. So far, the satin finish as well. I'm a big fan. I like my matte paints, don't get me wrong, but I do like a little bit of sheen, especially to darker colours. It does make a difference. Yeah, so the greens were the ones that I was really intrigued by. I kind of want to give the again. I don't have an opening to use it on this guy because I've kind of already done the leather. I kind of want to have a go with the dark mahogany and is it dark mahogany? No one's dark crimson. Dark burgundy. Sorry, my bad. But I've already done that. Leather and stuff. We will be using the petroleum brown for some of the weathering and oil spills and things like that for this guy. So that was convenient timing. Because I was thinking about doing that kind of thing anyway. I was like, aha, new toy. Perfect timing. Oh, of course. Forgot, my bad. MJ, if you want to share your Mindworks piece, you know the drill. Share away. Just let me know where I'm looking. And we'll bring it up for everybody to see. Harbinger today. Yes, Harbinger are great. They're really good live as well. Really, really good live. Oh, boot noise. Hang on. Who's that? The Lion Creative. Welcome in, mate. Throw it up in the whips. Cool. I haven't done whips tonight. I'll just do a big whip session on Sunday. Where be the whips? There be the whips. It's nice, but yeah. Have fun with the scales. Holy Jesus, that's a lot of scales. Wow. I mean, at least they're nicely rendered. It could be a lot worse. Could be a lot worse. The Nomit's really nice as well. Love that blue. Yeah, that's nice. Could be Games Workshop scales, yeah. I mean, I didn't want to say it, but you're not wrong. It could be Daughters of Cain. Like, Marathi's not so bad, but the little ones. Yeah, not great. This is lovely though, man. Really, really nice. Especially that on there. That's really nice. Oh, good cheeky new paint just sitting in the corner. Just don't mind me. Just gonna product placement. It's almost like you work there. Nah, it's good, man. Me likey. Beautiful sculpt. Yeah, I mean they make good stuff. And I don't think there's really any of the Mindworks lineup that I wouldn't want to paint. Like, they're all lovely. There's a few that I would rather paint over the others, but like, for me, they're just pretty much every release they just knock it out of the park.